Resilience is one of the most essential qualities a person can possess. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and obstacles, and it's easy to become disheartened when things don't go according to plan. But the truth is that the ability to bounce back from failure, adversity, and hardship is what ultimately defines success. Resilience is the key to overcoming difficulties and emerging stronger than before. It is not about avoiding challenges or never experiencing failure, it's about how we respond when faced with them. At its core, resilience is the ability to recover from difficult situations and adapt to adversity. It's a mental and emotional strength that allows you to face life's challenges head-on and keep going even when the going gets tough. Resilience doesn't mean you won't feel hurt, frustration, or disappointment when things go wrong. Rather, it means that, despite these emotions, you continue to move forward. It's the ability to acknowledge setbacks without letting them define you or dictate your future. Resilience is the determination to keep fighting, to stay focused on the goal, and to continue pursuing your dreams, no matter how many times you face failure or difficulty along the way. One of the most important aspects of resilience is the ability to learn from setbacks and adapt. Failure is an inevitable part of life, and it's easy to feel defeated when things don't go as expected. However, resilient individuals view failure as an opportunity to grow, rather than a roadblock. Instead of being discouraged by challenges, they use them as lessons to improve and refine their strategies. When one approach doesn't work, resilient people don't give up, they find a new way to move forward. They understand that success rarely happens on the first try, and that persistence is often the key to achieving long-term goals. Each failure teaches them something valuable, and with each lesson, they become stronger, more capable, and more prepared for future challenges. Resilience also requires a mindset shift. It's easy to fall into a victim mentality when things go wrong, to blame external factors or other people for your failures. However, resilient individuals take responsibility for their actions and focus on what they can control. They don't waste energy on things they can't change, but instead they channel their efforts into finding solutions and making progress. This mindset of accountability and empowerment is crucial for building resilience. It shifts the focus from what's wrong to what can be done to make things better. Resilient individuals view setbacks as temporary and always within their control to change, no matter how daunting the challenge may seem. Building resilience is not something that happens overnight. It's a process that takes time, effort, and intentionality. It requires cultivating a strong sense of self-belief and confidence, even in the face of adversity. Resilience is about maintaining hope and optimism, even when circumstances are difficult. It's about keeping your eye on the bigger picture, knowing that challenges are a natural part of life, and that perseverance is the key to ultimately reaching your goals. By developing resilience, you are equipping yourself with the tools necessary to navigate life's ups and downs, knowing that each setback is just another step in your journey. It's important to understand that resilience is not about being invulnerable or unaffected by the difficulties we face. On the contrary, resilience involves experiencing pain, disappointment, and struggle, but choosing to rise above it. It's about giving yourself permission to feel those emotions, to process them, and then moving forward with renewed determination. Resilient individuals acknowledge their struggles without letting them consume them. They are not immune to hardship, but they have learned how to cope, recover, and push forward no matter what life throws their way. The people who demonstrate the most resilience are often those who have faced the greatest adversity. They may have experienced loss, failure, or hardship, but they didn't let those challenges define them. Instead, they used their experiences to develop a deep well of inner strength, a strength that allows them to keep going, even when the path ahead is unclear. They understand that adversity is an inevitable part of life, and that the only way to overcome it is by persevering. Building resilience also involves taking care of yourself both physically and mentally. It requires self-compassion and the understanding that it's okay to stumble, to fall, and to not always have all the answers. Taking care of your emotional and mental well-being is essential in developing the strength needed to bounce back from adversity. Practicing mindfulness, seeking support from others, and staying connected to your sense of purpose are all ways to foster resilience. By prioritizing self-care, you build the emotional stamina necessary to face life's challenges with a clear mind and a strong heart. Ultimately, resilience is key because it is what allows us to keep moving forward when everything seems to be working against us. It is the foundation for success, the fuel for perseverance, and the strength needed to endure life's challenges. No matter how difficult the journey may be, resilience reminds us that we are capable of overcoming anything that stands in our way. It gives us the courage to face adversity, the strength to learn from failure, and the determination to never give up on our dreams. With resilience, we can navigate life's toughest moments and ultimately emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. Failure has a unique way of testing our character. It is easy to be optimistic and confident when things are going well, when everything is falling into place and the rewards are evident. However, when things go wrong, when plans don't materialize, and when you find yourself facing setbacks, that's when your true character is put to the test. How you respond to failure, how you handle disappointment and adversity, reveals the depths of your inner strength, resilience, and integrity. Failure isn't just an event or an obstacle, it's an opportunity to learn who you really are. At the core of every failure is a challenge to our self-belief and our sense of identity. When we experience failure, it often feels personal. It's as though we've been judged or rejected by the world. The initial emotional response can be anger, frustration, and doubt. These reactions are natural, but they don't define who we are. What defines us is what we do in those moments of struggle. The choices we make, the way we treat ourselves, and how we choose to persevere reveal more about our character than any moment of success ever could. In moments of failure, we find out whether we are people who rise after a fall or those who remain down. One of the key ways failure tests our character is by challenging our persistence. It's easy to keep going when the journey is smooth and the rewards are clear, but true character emerges when things are difficult. When you fail, it's an opportunity to decide whether you'll give up or keep pushing forward. It tests your commitment to your goals and whether you have the strength to persist despite obstacles. Many people are tempted to quit when faced with failure, but those with strong character see failure as an opportunity to try again, refine their approach, and push through. The ability to keep going, to adapt and improve, is a fundamental measure of one's character. Failure also tests our humility. It forces us to accept that we do not have all the answers and that we are not infallible. It reminds us that no one is immune to setbacks and that we all have areas where we can grow. A person with strong character doesn't let failure feed their ego or become consumed by pride. Instead, they acknowledge their mistakes and take responsibility for them. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth as a person, but rather an opportunity for growth. Humility in the face of failure allows us to learn, change, and become better. Another way failure tests character is by revealing the strength of our emotional control. When things don't go as planned, our first instinct is often to react emotionally. Whether it's anger, frustration, or sadness, failure can trigger intense emotions. But a person of strong character knows how to manage these emotions and channel them productively. Instead of being consumed by negative feelings, they choose to process their emotions, learn from the situation, and then move forward. The ability to control one's emotions in the face of failure, to not let them dictate your actions, is a powerful testament to inner strength and maturity. It shows that you have the wisdom to see beyond the immediate frustration and to focus on the long-term goals and solutions. In addition to emotional control, failure tests our integrity. When we fail, we often face a choice. Do we blame others, make excuses, or take the easy way out? Or do we face the truth and accept responsibility for our part in the failure? A person of strong character takes ownership of their mistakes, learns from them, and doesn't resort to blaming others or justifying their actions. Failure teaches us the importance of accountability. It forces us to confront our actions honestly and with integrity, and in doing so, it allows us to grow and evolve. The way we handle failure often reflects how we handle life's challenges in general. Do we act with honesty and transparency, or do we try to cover up our mistakes? The choice we make in these moments defines our true character. Failure also tests our ability to maintain hope and optimism. When things go wrong, it's easy to fall into despair and give in to negative thinking. But strong character is shown in those who can remain hopeful even in the face of adversity. They see failure not as the end, but as a temporary setback, a part of the process. They understand that failure does not define their future, it's only a chapter in a larger story. This hopeful outlook is essential for overcoming failure. It allows you to keep your eyes on the future and motivates you to keep striving for success. no matter how many obstacles arise along the way. Maintaining a positive, forward-looking attitude in the face of failure is a key indicator of character. Perhaps one of the most significant ways failure tests character is by revealing the strength of our support systems. It's easy to go through life without really needing to lean on others, but when we fail, we are often forced to reach out for help, guidance, and support. Failure tests whether we are humble enough to seek help when we need it, and whether we have the maturity to accept assistance without shame. It also shows whether we are able to offer help to others who are going through difficult times. Character is not only shown by how we handle our own failures, but also by how we support others when they experience theirs. A person with strong character lifts others up during their failures, offers compassion, and helps them find the strength to keep going. Ultimately, failure is a mirror. It reflects who we truly are beneath the surface: our values, our resilience, our integrity, and our emotional strength. It reveals whether we are defined by our mistakes or whether we have the strength to learn from them and move forward. Failure is not the end of the road, it is simply a tool to reveal and shape our character, making us more capable of achieving our true potential. How we respond to failure, how we learn and grow from it, speaks volumes about who we are as individuals and what we are capable of achieving in the future. Failure is often seen as something to avoid, something that should be feared or hidden away, but in truth, failure is the beginning of success. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and discover the path to success. While success may feel like the ultimate goal, it is failure that lays the groundwork for achievement. Every time we fail, we gain valuable lessons and insights that guide us toward our ultimate destination. Far from being the end, failure is a necessary and vital step in the journey toward success. When we fail, it is not a sign that we are not good enough, nor is it an indication that our goals are unachievable. Rather, failure is a reflection of the fact that we dared to try. We took a risk, and in doing so, we learned where our strengths and weaknesses lie. The very act of trying, of stepping out of our comfort zones, sets the stage for eventual success. Failure provides us with the opportunity to reflect on our approach, reassess our strategy, and make necessary adjustments. In this sense, failure is not a negative experience, but a stepping stone on the path to success. One of the most powerful aspects of failure is that it forces us to adapt. Success rarely comes on the first attempt. If we were to succeed without facing any obstacles, we would miss out on the growth that comes with overcoming challenges. Failure provides us with the opportunity to adjust, to innovate, and to improve our methods. It teaches us that the road to success is not a straight line, but a winding path filled with twists, turns, and detours. Every failure presents an opportunity to refine our skills, change our approach, and come back stronger. Think about some of the greatest achievements in history. Whether in science, technology, business, or the arts, success has rarely been achieved without failure. In fact, many of the most successful people have experienced multiple failures before they reach their goals. Each failure brought them one step closer to success by teaching them valuable lessons and giving them the chance to grow. It is the persistence in the face of failure that leads to eventual success, not the absence of failure itself. Every failure is part of the process of discovery, helping us to clarify what works and what doesn't, and ultimately guiding us toward the right solution. Failure also teaches us resilience. It shows us that setbacks are a natural part of the journey and that they do not define us. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after experiencing difficulty, and it is an essential trait for success. Every time we face failure, we are given the chance to develop greater mental and emotional strength. Each time we rise after a fall, we learn how to keep going, no matter the odds. This resilience is what allows us to maintain hope and determination, even when things are not going according to plan. It is through repeated failure and recovery that we build the character and endurance needed to succeed in the long term. Furthermore, failure provides us with the opportunity to develop a growth mindset. When we fail, we have a choice. We can either view it as an insurmountable obstacle or as a learning experience. A growth mindset encourages us to see failure as part of the learning process. Instead of being discouraged by failure, those with a growth mindset embrace it as an opportunity to grow and improve. They understand that failure is not an indication of their worth or ability, but a necessary step in becoming better. By embracing failure in this way, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, new ideas, and new strategies that can ultimately lead to success. One of the most important lessons failure teaches us is patience. Success does not come overnight. It requires time, effort, and often many attempts before it is achieved. Failure teaches us that the process is just as important as the outcome, and that we must be willing to put in the work, even when it feels like we are not making progress. Patience allows us to stay focused on our long-term goals and to keep moving forward, even when success seems distant or elusive. With each failure, we become more patient and more persistent, understanding that success is a journey, not a destination. Failure also teaches us humility. It reminds us that we are not invincible, that we don't have all the answers, and that we can learn from others. When we fail, we are often forced to reassess our approach, seek help, and be open to new ideas. This willingness to learn and grow from our mistakes is essential for success. It teaches us that we don't need to have everything figured out, and that it's okay to ask for help or seek guidance from others. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. It is the result of collaboration, learning, and growing from the experiences of others as well as our own. In the end, failure is not something to fear or avoid. It is a crucial part of the process that leads to success. Every failure is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. It teaches us resilience, patience, humility, and the importance of perseverance. Each failure brings us one step closer to success by providing us with the lessons and insights needed to refine our approach. Success is not the absence of failure, but the ability to rise above it, learn from it, and keep moving forward. The journey toward success is not always easy, but with each failure, we become stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving our goals. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of success. Failure is often perceived as the ultimate defeat, a point at which all hopes are dashed and dreams are shattered. However, this view of failure is misleading. In reality, failure is not the end of the road, it is simply a detour, a necessary pause in the journey towards success. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and ultimately find the strength to move forward. Failure doesn't mark the conclusion of our efforts, but rather the beginning of a new chapter, a chapter filled with lessons, growth, and opportunities for self-improvement. When we fail, it can feel like everything has come to a halt. The plans we worked so hard for seem to crumble, and the future may appear uncertain. But the truth is that failure is a part of life, a temporary setback, not a permanent condition. It is the moment when we are given the chance to stop, reassess, and reflect on what went wrong. In these moments, we are provided with invaluable insights about our approach, our strategies, and even ourselves. Rather than being an indication of defeat, failure is an invitation to re-examine our goals, refine our methods, and move forward with renewed purpose. Failure teaches us resilience. It challenges us to dig deeper and find the strength to continue, even when things don't go as planned. Resilience is not about avoiding setbacks or never experiencing failure. It is about how we respond to these challenges. When faced with adversity, resilient individuals understand that failure is not the end. Instead of succumbing to despair, they choose to rise, adapt, and try again. Resilience is the quality that allows us to bounce back from failure stronger and more determined, armed with the knowledge and experience gained from the setback. It is through resilience that we develop the perseverance needed to achieve long-term success, even in the face of setbacks and disappointments. Another powerful lesson failure offers is the opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It forces us to confront our weaknesses and limitations, providing us with a mirror in which we can clearly see what needs to be improved. In the face of failure, we can no longer deny the areas where we need to grow. This uncomfortable but necessary process helps us to develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and our abilities. Failure helps us understand our true potential, not in the moments of success when everything is easy, but in the moments of struggle when we are forced to push past our limits. Through this growth, we are better equipped to handle future challenges and more prepared to achieve our goals. Failure also teaches us the importance of adaptability. Success rarely comes without obstacles, and when we fail, it is often because something didn't go as we expected. Perhaps we overlooked a critical detail, or our strategy wasn't as effective as we thought. In such moments, failure forces us to adapt, to rethink our approach, adjust our mindset, and try a different path. It is in these moments of adaptation that we learn to be flexible, to think creatively, and to approach problems from different angles. If we only ever succeed without failure, we would miss out on the opportunities to develop the problem-solving skills that are necessary for growth. Failure teaches us that there is always another way forward, and sometimes the path we think we should take is not the right one. Through this process, we learn to be resourceful and inventive, developing a mindset that looks for solutions rather than dwelling on problems. Furthermore, failure is a powerful reminder that success is not an overnight achievement. It is easy to look at others who seem to be thriving and assume that their success came effortlessly. However, behind every success story is often a long history of failures, lessons, and persistence. Success is not linear. It is built on a series of trials, errors, and adjustments. Each failure brings us closer to success by teaching us what works and what doesn't. By persevering through failure, we are not simply facing defeat, we are progressing, one lesson at a time, toward the ultimate realization of our goals. Failure also provides us with an important opportunity to practice patience. In today's world, where instant gratification is often the expectation, failure forces us to slow down and focus on the long-term process. It reminds us that meaningful achievements take time and effort. Success is rarely the result of a single flawless attempt. Rather, it is the culmination of hard work, persistence, and continuous improvement. Failure teaches us the value of patience and helps us appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. By embracing failure as a natural part of the process, we become more patient and more willing to endure the challenges that come with pursuing our goals. Another key lesson failure offers is the ability to maintain hope and optimism, even in the face of disappointment. It can be easy to lose hope after a failure, to feel as though we will never achieve our dreams. However, failure is a temporary setback, not the final word on our potential. Maintaining hope and staying optimistic in the face of adversity is crucial for moving forward. Failure teaches us that there is always the possibility for a fresh start, a new approach, or a better outcome. It reminds us that no matter how many times we fall, there is always the chance to rise again. Ultimately, failure is not the end, it is an essential part of the process of growth and success. It is through failure that we learn the most valuable lessons about resilience, adaptability, patience, and perseverance. Failure is not something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace as a natural and necessary part of life. It provides us with the opportunity to reflect, reassess, and improve, bringing us closer to the success we desire. Far from being a sign of defeat, failure is the catalyst that propels us forward, shaping our character, refining our skills, and helping us become the people we are meant to be. Failure is often regarded as something negative, something to avoid at all costs. We fear it, we dread it, and we try to shield ourselves from it in every way possible. Society teaches us that success is the ultimate goal, and failure is something that should be hidden, ashamed of, or even ignored. But the truth is, failure is an essential part of the journey towards success. It's a natural and necessary step along the way, and without it, growth is impossible. It is important to understand that failure is not a sign of defeat, but rather a sign of progress. When you attempt something, when you take a risk, when you push yourself beyond your comfort zone, failure is bound to happen at some point. But each failure is a lesson. It is an opportunity to reflect, to understand what went wrong, and to improve. Failure forces us to confront our weaknesses and shortcomings, and in doing so, it gives us the chance to become better versions of ourselves. When you fail, you're not done. The world has not ended. What you have encountered is merely a setback. It's a challenge to rise above, to prove to yourself that you can get up, dust yourself off, and try again. In fact, failure is an integral part of the learning process. Think about it: when you succeed at something on your first try, there's little to learn from the experience. But when you fail, you're given the chance to reassess, to adjust your approach, and to find a better way forward. It's a catalyst for growth. One of the most important lessons failure teaches us is that it's not about the end result, but about the journey itself. Success is not a straight line, it's filled with twists, turns, and obstacles. Those who reach their goals are not those who never encountered failure, but those who kept going despite it. It's not about avoiding failure, but about learning how to overcome it, how to persist through it, and how to use it to fuel your next attempt. The fear of failure can hold you back from pursuing your dreams, from taking the risks necessary to achieve great things. But it's important to understand that failure does not define you. It's not the failure that matters, it's how you respond to it. Do you let it stop you? Do you let it convince you that you're not good enough, that you can't succeed, or do you choose to learn from it, to grow stronger, and to keep moving forward? It's easy to feel defeated when things don't go according to plan. You may think that you're not cut out for something, that your dreams are too big, or that you simply don't have what it takes. But these thoughts are the result of doubt, not reality. The truth is, you have within you the strength to push through. Every failure is an opportunity to sharpen your skills, to build your resilience, and to strengthen your belief in yourself. It's in those moments of struggle that you find your true potential. There will be times when failure knocks you down, and it will feel like everything you've worked for is slipping away. But in those moments, you must remember that it's not the end. It's just a part of the process. Success is rarely achieved without some setbacks along the way. Even the most accomplished people have failed many times over before they reach the heights they now enjoy. What they learned from those failures is what made them stronger, wiser, and more prepared for success when it finally came. The road to success is not without its bumps. It's filled with moments of doubt, disappointment, and struggle. But those moments are not the end of the road, they are simply part of the journey. You must allow yourself to experience failure without letting it define you. Embrace it as an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. With every failure, you are getting closer to success, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment. The key is to never give up, to keep going even when the road gets tough. In the end, failure is not something to fear, but something to embrace. It's a necessary part of the process that leads to growth, learning, and success. The more you fail, the more you learn, and the more equipped you become to face the next challenge. So when you fail, don't see it as the end. See it as a stepping stone on your journey, a chance to refine your skills, adjust your approach, and keep moving toward your goals. Failure is not the end, it's simply the beginning of the next chapter in your story. Failure is often seen as something to avoid, something to be feared, but in reality, it is one of our greatest teachers. While success can certainly teach us many things, it is through failure that we learn the most important lessons of all. Failure reveals our vulnerabilities, exposes where we need to improve, and forces us to face our shortcomings head-on. It teaches us resilience, humility, and the invaluable skill of perseverance. Without failure, we would never truly understand the depths of our potential, because it is failure that drives growth and fosters improvement. When you experience failure, it can feel devastating. It can shake your confidence, challenge your sense of self-worth, and make you question whether you're on the right path. However, within that moment of struggle lies an incredible opportunity for self-reflection and growth. Failure forces you to take a step back and assess your approach. It encourages you to re-evaluate your strategy, your actions, and even your mindset. In doing so, it provides the clarity necessary to move forward and try again, this time with greater understanding and a more refined perspective. One of the greatest lessons failure teaches us is the importance of humility. It reminds us that we are not invincible, and no matter how hard we try, we cannot control everything. Failure humbles us by showing us that success doesn't come easily or without effort. It also teaches us to embrace imperfection and accept that mistakes are part of the process. Everyone, no matter how successful they appear, has failed in some way. What separates those who achieve great things from those who don't is how they respond to failure. Do they let it defeat them, or do they use it as a stepping stone toward greater achievements? Through failure, we learn that mistakes are not the end of the road, but simply part of the journey. Each failure provides us with a new piece of knowledge, a fresh perspective, and an opportunity to do better next time. It's often the failures, the mistakes, and the setbacks that teach us what works and what doesn't, what we need to change, and what we need to let go of. With each failure, we build resilience. We become more capable of facing adversity, more willing to take risks, and more prepared for future challenges. Every time we fall, we have the chance to get back up stronger and wiser. Failure also teaches us that success is not a linear path. It's easy to think that successful people have had a smooth, uninterrupted ride to the top. But the reality is that success is built on a series of failures. Every person who has reached a significant achievement has faced their share of setbacks, disappointments, and struggles. The difference between them and those who give up is that they chose to learn from their failures rather than allowing those failures to stop them. Failure teaches us patience and perseverance, qualities that are necessary for long-term success. It shows us that the road to achievement is often winding and difficult, but the rewards are far greater when we learn to embrace the struggle and push through. In addition to teaching us about resilience and perseverance, failure also teaches us about the power of self-belief. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to doubt our abilities and question whether we're capable of achieving our goals. But failure, in its own way, provides an opportunity to strengthen our belief in ourselves. It challenges us to dig deeper, to find the courage to keep going even when the path is unclear. It forces us to trust in our abilities, to believe that we can learn, adapt, and grow stronger with each challenge we face. In this sense, failure is not just an obstacle, it's a tool for building confidence and fortitude. Failure also fosters creativity and innovation. When something doesn't work out the way we expect, it often prompts us to think outside the box, to find new ways to approach the problem, and to consider alternative solutions. The best ideas and breakthroughs often come from failure, as it pushes us to think critically and innovate in ways we may not have otherwise considered. Failure encourages us to experiment, to take risks, and to be open to new possibilities, which are all essential elements of growth and success. Ultimately, failure is not the enemy, it is a powerful teacher that guides us toward greater understanding, growth, and achievement. It shows us that success is not defined by perfection or the absence of mistakes, but by our ability to learn, adapt, and persist in the face of adversity. Each failure offers an invaluable lesson that, if embraced, will help us grow stronger and more capable. So the next time you experience failure, don't be discouraged. See it for what it truly is, a lesson, a challenge, and an opportunity to become better. Failure is not something to fear, it is something to embrace, because it is through failure that we find our greatest potential.